I don't know why it's taken us so long to do a video about this truck. I mean, look at this truck. Does it not deserve a video? It deserves all the videos. This is a 1978 Dodge D300 Adventurer, SE, Crew Cab, Dually.
It's got all the names.
Dually. With the Dually.
Yeah, let's just call it the Dually.
Actually, we call it the yellow Dually for reasons I assume are obvious. This truck was painted, also maybe obviously, in the early 80s.
Yeah, 84, he told me.
And this is a pre-wrap thing, you know, back in that time period, if you wanted to have a vehicle that stood out, you had to find somebody who could lay down some tape, lay down some stripes, and match up red, orange, yellow, blue, white, and multiple shades of green.
Yeah. The bottom is a fade. Do you guys see that? I don't know if it's picking it up, but there's four different colors of green.
And this is not the kind of vehicle that I ever thought that I would be owning. I mean, it's a little flashy for us, but now that I have one, I think everybody should. Look at it. Look at it. Feast your eyes.
Somewhere in the world is a matching boat to this truck.
Yeah, if you have it, please send us a picture. But we don't want to buy it. I mean, we might
Well,
want to
we
buy
might. We haven't seen it yet. Please send a picture of boat and motor.
Yeah, so the guy that we got this truck from was pretty obviously into boat racing. He's got all his racing stickers, had the truck painted to match the boat. There were a lot of famous painters in those days. Bill Carter comes to mind. He did a lot of stuff for like Don Prudhomme and Roland Leong. Terry and Tim did this truck.
Yep, none finer.
And the pinstriping was by Wild Bill in Riverside. And that's actually a fairly famous pinstriping name. I've seen his name mentioned in other articles on custom paint.
Yep, and he's a visionary too, because he knew that at some point Elana would have a boat and a truck on the river.
Where is my boat? Please send boat.
So it's in very good condition, considering how old this paint is. It's actually the nicest Dodge truck I've ever had. I mean, inside and outside is really nice. We'll cover the inside in a minute. Elana, why don't you try firing it up?
So you could get Dodge trucks in all different combinations. I mean, you could get crew cabs, you could get sportsman, club cabs.
Yep.
2 doors, 4
Regular
doors.
cab, 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive,
Yeah.
whatever.
Duals in the back, single in the back, and a lot of different engine choices too. 360, 400, 440. We've always had 440 trucks.
Wait, you gotta say that again, I can't hear you.
I said, that sounds a little weird.
It must be, something's up with it, we better look at it.
Yeah, low in oil or something, kind of clattery. I'm going to turn it off and we'll come from the hood to make sure everything's okay.
So, as you can tell by the noise, we have done an engine swap on this truck, and it's no longer a 440. We put in a 12-valve, non-intercooled 1989 Dodge Cummins turbo diesel. I call it a Dodge Cummins turbo diesel because that's what it says.
It actually says Dodge Ram Cummins turbo diesel.
Oh gosh, well.
Adventurer SE.
So the idea was to swap it for better mileage and better drivability and all the modern stuff that people like. I mean, I've had a lot of 440 trucks and motorhomes, and they're great and they'll get you where you want to go. But this truck used to get 8 miles to the gallon, and now it gets 20 and a half. And what we did was we bought a parts truck. We bought an 89 Dodge Dually and then took the driveline out and fitted it to the 78. The motor mounts and all the bracketry is 1989 Dodge truck. The air conditioning box is the 78 heater AC box, and then I silver soldered the steel line to adapt to new hoses for the modern Sandin compressor. We put 4-inch exhaust on it. The motor is almost entirely stock. It's turned up a little bit. I wanted to have working air conditioning, which is why it's not the intercooled one, because if you look in the front, the AC condenser is very close to the front, and you know, an intercooler would take up too much space. This is the 78 radiator core support that I cut and welded the 89 brackets onto to accommodate all the stock 89 cooling system, the fan, the shroud, everything like that. The wiring harness is the 440 wiring harness. I put the oil pressure sending unit in the Cummins, and the water temperature sending unit from the 440 is now in the Cummins. And then the alternator wires were the exact same hookup, so it all hooked up fine. You know, there's a lot of little details to the swap. I had to put fuel lines on the driver's side because on the 440 they're on the opposite side.
But overall, at least in terms of space and stuff, this worked because Dodge itself did put diesel into a similar truck.
Well, yeah, the 88, 89, 90s style trucks are the same generation of truck. This is just a much older version of it. So it all basically bolts in. There's very moderate cutting. It looks factory. I didn't want to build, it's not a drag truck. It's not turned up rolling coal. It's a reliable, stock-ish package. And it drives good. It's got a torque flight, no overdrive. The dually rear end is a 307 geared dually Dana 70, which is pretty rare. But these motors don't turn a lot of RPM, so you gotta have that.
And we recently did a fairly substantial test for this truck. We drove 900 miles on a very important mission to haul some important cargo back.
Yeah, 900 miles on one tank of fuel, I might add. But there's some noise back here.
Yeah, I think you got a squeak in the axle or something. Oh, hi.
Hi, guys. So we picked up these little pups. This guy is Stanley. And this guy, if I can grab a hold of him, he's pretty wiggly. That's Jerry. They're named after my brothers. A little inside family joke. I thought it'd be hilarious, and it is.
Yeah, just for the record, his brothers are not dead. This is not memorial. We just named our dogs after them.
Yeah. Let's take this thing for a drive.
I think it's a good idea.
Let me slam the hood for you.
You want me to get that? You got a lot of puppies.
Well, the puppies are an issue, but I think I can do it.
It's impressive. Get yourself a man who can hold puppies and slam a hood. Can you hold this camera and hold puppies?
Yeah, you want to show them the dashboard and all that first?
Oh yeah, this is the driving position, the driver's view. You can see we have pretty much all of the gauges.
All the gauges, and a tachometer for the diesel, which I added.
I have to come on this side to show you that. Yeah. Wood grain, extremely classy.
Classy with a K. I mean, that's the kind of people we are.
A tape deck that for some reason plays this tape and this tape only.
There's one good song on that tape.
Yeah, but it doesn't have Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, so it's not that good. Actually, that's not true. It plays two tapes. It plays
Lionel Richie, too.
Yeah, it plays Gordon Lightfoot and Lionel Richie.
Yeah, but none of the others. If anybody knows why it doesn't recognize other tapes, I'd love to know that.
Yeah, it won't. Tapes that will play in other tape decks.
Yeah, just not this one.
Yeah. All right, why don't you hold this?
All right.
Hold that little string up so that the puppies don't...
Yeah. And I want to show, I added these gauges here. It's a boost gauge, which if you're Gale Banks, that gauge is dead to you. He only likes air density gauges now. And the pyrometer and a transmission oil temp. You know, just some basic instrumentation. This truck has a headliner in it, which is, you know, it was all custom aftermarket stuff. This is not a Dodge headliner.
They were just bare metal,
show them
right?
the cassette holder thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where you keep your music.
Yeah, too bad Peggy Lee doesn't play.
Yeah, well, that's gonna happen once in a while. All right, let's fire it up and go for a ride.
All right, let's see if we can get out of dry dock here. How are we doing on that side?
Oh, you got it. If it stops like you're hooked up to a house and lethal weapon, you know we did something wrong.
I'll just floor it. Somebody once asked me if I get asked very often if we're Packers fans driving this truck.
Oh, really?
Which I assume has something to do...
The Green Bay Packers.
Is this their colors?
I think
Or-
it's similar.
I mean, did they all drive Dodge? It's basically, if it doesn't have motor in front of the sports, I don't know about it. So don't ask me any more sportsing questions.
I'm not sure what the dogs are doing here. They're just hanging out.
They seem pretty happy.
Yeah.
They really enjoyed the long drive back from Arizona in the truck. They were very good.
I don't know if you guys can pick up the sound audio, but this truck sounds really cool.
Well,
Let me give you a view out the front here.
Oh yeah, check out that bug deflector, which did in fact deflect many bugs.
That is a Deflect-A-Shield, yellow in color, which I'm sure it had to be one of the most popular colors, right?
I'm trying to think if I've seen any others, and surprisingly, just the other day I saw a white and orange truck with a camper on it that had an orange Deflect-A-Shield.
The puppy is tugging on the camera cord again, which is making he won't let go of it.
I warned you. All right, let's be quiet for a second and enjoy the sound of the diesel at full song. Ready?
Yeah, I think I get a picture of the police gauge. Go ahead. Surprising velocity out of this thing.
Well, we are going downhill.
Actually, you know, the actual 440 in this truck was a little bit faster, but this engine at idle, when I backed in the driveway, even with 307 gears, it has more off-idle torque than that 440 had with 410s, which kind of blew me away when I first backed it in.
Well, and when we went to pick up the pups,
Oh, look at this, we got a road obstacle here.
Yeah. One of the few vehicles on the road bigger than this one, and so by the rules of the road, he had right of way. When we went to pick up the pups, we went to Prescott, Arizona, and if you've ever been to Prescott on, I think it's 89, it's up a very steep mountain, very twisty, very dark at night. Quite the challenge for a young dually driver, but we made it, and the dually was fine.
It was very dark also. We got there pretty late at night.
Yeah, I would say that if I have any complaints at all about the dually, it would only be that maybe the headlights should illuminate like a little bit further ahead.
Well, the speed you were going, they did the best they could.
24 miles an hour!
They're not calcium carbide lamps, they did their best.
I love this truck. Driving this truck is so fun. I feel extremely powerful.
Jump on it. Oh, we turned a little tired, did you see that?
Anyway, I guess one of the things about trucks in general, like something I would like to say to you if you have never considered having a truck as your project car, is that if you've kind of been having muscle car dreams or classic car dreams, but you don't have the money, or it really wouldn't be logical for you with your work or family requirements, you should look at trucks, because first of all, the trucks are more muscly for much longer, right? Like, they were still putting big engines in trucks into the 80s when all the cars had gone to like kind of weak sauce stuff.
The trucks are definitely more affordable, and they can be very cool too, you know.
Yeah, big old engine bay, put whatever you want in it, and
yeah, and then drive to Prescott, Arizona, and get yourself some puppies, because it worked for us, and it can work for you too.
And that is the end of this commercial.
All right, thanks guys for watching the Adventure SE.